Welcome back. I'm Pratap here. Today is 5th February 2025. In this video, I'm going to generate different supply demand zone reports useful to the premium subscribers. Before that, please understand we are providing complete free training on supply demand zone price action. Some of you might be knowing the cost of the training is over 8,000 US dollars. But we are providing complete free training and all the training lessons are available at our NeoStock YouTube channel. At our channel homepage, you click the tab posts. Some of you might be seeing the tab community. Click on the tab. You get access to this post. This post is having a YouTube playlist link that will take you to all the training lessons. You just click on the link. Now we are into supply demand zone price action course. All the training lessons are available here. You need to start your training from lesson 1.1 that is available at the bottom of the page. Just scroll down to the bottom of the page. Here, starting from lesson 1.1, all the training lessons are placed in an order. So please go through all these lessons one by one. But you need to start your learning according to the training instructions I have mentioned at our Telegram channel. I provided the link to our Telegram channel in this video description. So go to our Telegram channel. In the pinned messages, you can find the pinned messages at the top of the window at Telegram channel. So click on the pinned messages. You will get all the training instructions. So learn the course according to the training instructions. Then you will become a very good independent trader in next 3 months time period. Please make use of this opportunity. Now let's get into the report generation by using NeoStock Software Supply Demand Zone Top-Down Strategy Builder. First, we are going to find the stocks near demand and supply zones, starting with the yearly time frame. First, let us find the stocks where price closed inside the yearly demand zone. We got 3 stocks. Currently, price is there inside the yearly demand zone. I am giving you only few seconds time to watch the report. So I request you pause the video, study the report, and then you can proceed with the next reports. In case if you does not understand the structure of this report, I request you complete our training lesson 21.1. That is part 1 of lesson 21. In that video, I have explained each and every column, their values, abbreviations in detail. Okay, next, yearly time frame. Price closed inside the yearly supply zone. We don't have any stocks. Next time frame is a half yearly. Stocks near half yearly demand zone. 1 stock is filtered. Next, half yearly time frame. Stocks near half yearly supply zone. We don't have any stocks. Half yearly time frame. Price closed inside the half yearly demand zone. We got 5 stocks. Next, half yearly time frame, price closed inside the half yearly supply zone. We got 3 stocks. Next time frame is a quarterly. Stocks near quarterly demand zone. We got 2 stocks. Next, quarterly time frame, stocks near quarterly supply zone. We got 4 stocks. Next, quarterly time frame, price closed inside the quarterly demand zone. We got 27 stocks. So first 22 stocks in the list. I am scrolling the list down. So total 27 stocks are filtered. We can further filter this list by citing high probability parameter EMA Confluence. So in the EMA Confluence parameter at quarterly time frame, I am setting the filter quarterly demand zone having quarterly EMA confluence. And when you set EMA confluence, trend on the quarterly time frame should not be sideways. It can be up or down. With these filters, now the list is come down to 15 stocks. So all these quarterly demand zones are having quarterly EMA confluence. And current price closed inside the quarterly demand zone. Okay, next, quarterly time frame. Price closed inside the quarterly supply zone. We got 4 stocks. Let's verify how many of these supply zones are having EMA confluence. In the EMA confluence, quarterly time frame, quarterly supply zone having quarterly EMA confluence, and trend on the quarterly time frame is either up or down. With these filters, we got 3 stocks out of 4. These 3 quarterly supply zones are having quarterly EMA confluence. Okay, next time frame is monthly. Stocks near monthly demand zone. We got 3 stocks. Next, monthly time frame. Stocks near monthly supply zone. We got 8 stocks. Next, monthly time frame. Price closed inside the monthly demand zone. We got 35 stocks. So first 18 stocks in the list. Scrolling the list down. Okay, we can further filter this list based on monthly demand zone having monthly EMA confluence. So in the EMA confluence at monthly time frame, I am setting the filter monthly demand zone with monthly EMA confluence. Trend on the monthly time frame should be either up or down. With these filters, from 35 stocks, the list is come down to 15 stocks. And all these 15 monthly demand zones are having monthly EMA confluence. Always look into this search strategy. You will understand how we are filtering the stocks. Okay, next, monthly time frame. Price closed inside the monthly supply zone. We got 10 stocks. So out of these 10, how many of these monthly supply zones are having monthly EMA confluence? Let us verify. So in the EMA confluence at monthly time frame, I am setting the filter monthly supply zone having monthly EMA confluence. And the trend on the monthly time frame is either up or down. With these filters, we got 4 stocks. So this is about monthly time frame. So next time frame is a weekly. For weekly time frame, stocks near weekly demand zone, we got 9 stocks. Next, weekly time frame, stocks near weekly supply zone, we got 21 stocks. So first 15 stocks in the list. Scrolling the list down. So total 21 stocks are there. Because the list is big, if you want to further filter based on the EMA confluence, we can do that. Let us filter further these stocks near weekly supply zones. I am setting the filter EMA confluence on weekly time frame. So I am setting the filter weekly supply zone having weekly EMA confluence. But the trend on the weekly should be either up or down, but not sideways. Let's filter. See, now the list is come down to 8 stocks. These 8 weekly supply zones are having weekly EMA confluence. These are the stocks near weekly supply zone, filtered with EMA confluence. Okay, next, weekly time frame, price closed inside the weekly demand zone. We got 56 stocks. So first 15 stocks in the list. I'm scrolling the list down quickly. Let me scroll down and then filter with EMA Confluence. So total 56 stocks. We can further filter these weekly demand zones with the weekly EMA Confluence. So in the EMA Confluence at weekly time frame, I am setting the filter weekly demand zone having weekly EMA Confluence. And trend on the weekly time frame should be either up or down, but should not be sideways. So with these filters, we got 10 stocks. So these 10 weekly demand zones are having weekly EMA Confluence and also current price closed inside the weekly demand zone. Some of these weekly demand zones are pierced zones, so you can apply pierced zone strategy on those stocks. Okay, this is price closed inside weekly demand zone. Next, weekly time frame. Price closed inside the weekly supply zone. We got 37 stocks. So first 15 stocks in the list. I'm scrolling the list down. Okay. So total 37 stocks. We can further filter this list based on EMA Confluence. So in the EMA Confluence at a weekly time frame, I am setting the filter weekly supply zone having weekly EMA Confluence. And trend on the weekly time frame is either up or down. So with these filters, we got 16 stocks. So first 15 stocks in the list. I'm scrolling the list down. So currently price closed in these weekly supply zones, and those supply zones are having weekly EMA Confluence. So this is about weekly time frame, and the next time frame is a daily. Entry time frame daily. Let us find the stocks near daily demand zone. We got 16 stocks. Okay, let us identify the high liquidity zones. First one, you can't, this is NIFTY IT, and moreover it is pierced, and also you can't trade. It is not listed in F&O. Astral is having a high liquidity zone, daily zone, demand zone. Laurus Labs is having a high liquidity demand zone. Manapuram is having a high liquidity demand zone. Marico is having a high liquidity demand zone, daily demand zones. And Torrent Power is having a high liquidity daily demand zone. So total we identified 5 high liquidity daily demand zones from this list. Okay. Next, daily time frame, stocks near daily supply zone. We got 5 stocks. Let us identify high liquidity supply zones from this list. India Mart is a daily high liquidity supply zone. That's it. We have only one high liquidity daily supply zone from this list. Okay. Next, for daily time frame, let us find the stocks where price closed inside the daily demand zone. So total 15 stocks are filtered. Let us further filter this list based on the EMA Confluence. In the EMA Confluence at daily time frame, I am setting the filter daily demand zone having daily EMA Confluence, and trend on the daily time frame is either up or down. With these filters, now the list is come down to 9 stocks. These 9 daily demand zones are having daily EMA Confluence. Okay, next, for daily time frame, price closed inside the daily supply zone. We got 65 stocks. Let us identify, but first let me scroll the list down quickly. After that, we will filter based on EMA Confluence. So total 65 stocks. Out of these 65, how many are having EMA Confluence? Let's verify. In the EMA Confluence at a daily time frame, daily supply zone having daily EMA Confluence, and the trend on the daily time frame is either up or down. With these filters, we got 24 stocks. So first 15 stocks in the list. Scrolling the list down. Okay, this is the complete list, and all these daily supply zones are having daily EMA Confluence, and also current price closed inside the daily supply zone. So this is about the daily time frame. Next time frame is 125 minutes. Stocks near 125 minutes demand zone, we got 20 stocks. First 15 stocks in the list. I'm scrolling the list down. So total 20 stocks. Okay, next 125 minutes time frame, stocks near 125 minutes supply zone, we got 9 stocks. Next time frame is 75 minutes. Entry time frame 75 minutes. Let us find the stocks near 75 minutes demand zone. We got 16 stocks. Let us identify high liquidity zones from this list. Chambal Fertilizers is having a 75 minutes high liquidity demand zone. Hindustan Unilever is having a high liquidity demand zone. Prestige is having a high liquidity 75 minutes demand zone. Tech Mahindra is a pierced zone 8 times. Maybe look into the zone based on the pierced zone strategy. Maybe there could be either a bear trap or maybe a LTF horizon might be there, either one, because 8 times it is pierced. Very interesting. So we identified 3 high liquidity 75 minute supply zones. I did not include Tech Mahindra in that list because you can't use a HLQ strategy on this. Okay, this is about 75 minutes. Next, demand zones, stocks near demand zones. Next, for 75 minutes time frame, let us find the stocks near 75 minutes supply zone. We got 8 stocks. Let us identify high liquidity supply zones from this list. MCX is having a high liquidity supply zone. That's it. We have only one. Okay. So the next, this is about 75 minutes time frame. Next time frame is 25 minutes. Stocks near 25 minutes demand zone. We got 9 stocks. Next 25 minutes time frame. Stocks near 25 minutes supply zone. We got 5 stocks. Next time frame is 15 minutes. Stocks near 15 minutes demand zone. We got 4 stocks. Let's verify how many are having ITF Confluence from this list. That is 15 minutes demand zone Confluence with 75 minutes demand zone. I am enabling the filter. Only this one stock is having ITF Confluence. That means this 15 minutes demand zone is overlapped with 75 minutes demand zone. Okay, next for 15 minutes time frame, stocks near 15 minutes supply zone, we got 6 stocks. So let's verify how many of these are having ITF supply zone Confluence. That is 15 minutes supply zone with 75 minutes supply zone Confluence. I am enabling the filter. With this filter, we got 2 stocks. So these 2 stocks, these 15 minute supply zones are overlapped with 75 minute supply zone. You can always see the filter we have, search filter we used. Okay, next time frame is 5 minutes. Stocks near 5 minutes demand zone, we got 5 stocks. Out of these 5, how many are having ITF Confluence? Let's verify. That is 5 minutes demand zone Confluence with 15 minutes demand zone. Enable the filter. Now 2 stocks are filtered. So these 2 5 minutes demand zones are overlapped with 15 minutes demand zone. Okay, next 5 minutes time frame, stocks near 5 minutes supply zone, we got 11 stocks. Out of these 11, how many are having ITF supply zone Confluence? Let us verify. That is 5 minutes supply zone Confluence with 15 minutes supply zone. I am enabling the filter. With this filter, we got 5 stocks. So these 5 stocks, these 5 minute supply zones are overlapped with 15 minute supply zones. So this is about stocks near demand and supply zones for different time frames. Now let's focus on generating Nifty and BANKNIFTY supply demand zone chain. Starting with Nifty monthly time frame, generating monthly supply demand zone chain for Nifty. So this is a Nifty monthly supply demand zone chain. Always look into the zone column to find high liquidity zones. Look into the pierced column to find the pierced zones. Always look into the LTF trend to find the trend of the current time frame you have selected. So apply the same rules for the remaining supply demand zone chain reports. Okay, next. Weekly supply demand zone chain for Nifty. Next, daily supply demand zone chain for Nifty. Next, 125 minutes supply demand zone chain for Nifty. Next, 75 minutes supply demand zone chain for Nifty. Next, 25 minutes supply demand zone chain for Nifty. In 25 minutes, the nearest demand zone is at 14. Nearest demand zone to the current closing price. Similarly, 13th nearest supply zone to the closing price. This is the way you should look into the remaining zones below and above. Next, 15 minutes supply demand zone chain for Nifty. The nearest demand zone is at 26. So because you have a very small chain demand zone, let me scroll and put it in the center. Okay, next, 5 minutes supply demand zone chain for Nifty. All these are all supply zones. I am scrolling the list down. See, the nearest demand zone is 40. Serial number 40. Serial number 39 is nearest supply zone to the current closing price. So let me put it in the center, the nearest demand and supply zones, so that now you can access above the supply zone and below the demand zones. Because some of these zones are violated, you get supports in some of these high liquidity demand or supply zones. So this is a Nifty supply demand zone chain. Next, we will generate Bank Nifty supply demand zone chain. That is nothing but Nifty Bank. So monthly supply demand zone chain for Bank Nifty. Next, weekly supply demand zone chain for Bank Nifty. Next, daily supply demand zone chain for Bank Nifty. Next, 125 minutes supply demand zone chain for Bank Nifty. Next, 75 minutes supply demand zone chain for Bank Nifty. Next, 25 minutes supply demand zone chain for Bank Nifty. Tenth is the nearest demand zone. Next, 15 minutes supply demand zone chain for Bank Nifty. Serial number 17. This is the nearest. Anyway, it is in the center only. Next, 5 minutes supply demand zone chain for Bank Nifty. Serial number 24 is the nearest demand zone. 23 is the nearest supply zone. Let me put it in the center. Okay. So this is about Bank Nifty supply demand zone chain. Next, we will generate bullish and bearish trade setups for monthly, weekly, daily and hourly income trades. For monthly income trade bullish trade setup, entry time frame is daily, entry zone is demand zone, In bullish or bearish trade setup at entry time frame daily, I am selecting bullish. And the two filters, zone achievement, violated opposing zone, minimum odd enhances score 12. Let's filter. We got 16 stocks. Currently these 16 stocks are supporting bullish trade setup for monthly income trade, and entry time frame zones are daily demand zones. We can further filter this list by setting high probability filters like zone confluence, then EMA confluence. Both combinations we will see as per the strategies you learned in lesson 27. Okay. First filter is LTF and ITF demand zone confluence. That is a daily and weekly demand zone confluence filter I enabled. With this filter we got 9 stocks. From 15 it's come down to 9. In all these 9 stocks, these daily demand zones are overlapped with weekly demand zone. That means they are part of the weekly demand zone daily. That's why if weekly demand zone having weekly EMA, they are even more high probability trade setup. Moreover, weekly trend is up in all these stocks. ITF trend is weekly. So in the EMA confluence, I am setting the filter on weekly time frame, weekly demand zone having weekly EMA confluence. With this filter, now the list is come down to 5 stocks. So these 5 daily demand zones are even more high probability trade setup supported demand zones. This is based on LTF and ITF EMA confluence. Next we will look for LTF, ITF and HTF demand zone confluence, and then HTF EMA confluence. So I am removing this ITF EMA filter. In the demand zone confluence, I should set 3 filters. First filter is already enabled. Second filter, daily demand zone with monthly demand zone confluence. Third filter, weekly demand zone with monthly demand zone confluence. With all the 3 filters, we got 3 stocks. That means in these 3 stocks, these daily demand zones are overlapped with weekly demand zone. Both together again overlapped with monthly demand zone. And monthly trend is up in all the 3 stocks. HTF trend. If monthly demand zone is having monthly EMA confluence, those stocks are, out of these 3, those stocks are even more high probability trade setup supported stocks. Let us verify. In the EMA confluence at monthly time frame, I am setting the filter monthly demand zone having monthly EMA confluence. With this filter, we got all the 3 stocks. That means all these 3 are even more high probability trade setup supported daily demand zones, because they are part of the monthly zone and also having monthly EMA confluence. Monthly demand zone with monthly EMA. Okay, this is about bullish trade setup, monthly income trade. Next, bearish trade setup, monthly income trade, entry time frame daily, entry zone, supply zone. In bullish or bearish trade setup at entry time frame daily, I am selecting bearish, and zone achievement, violated opposing zone, minimum odd enhancer score should be 12. Both the filters are applied to daily supply zone. Now we got 3 stocks. These 3 supply zones are currently supporting bearish trade setup for monthly income trade. Entry time frame is daily supply zones. Out of these 3 daily supply zones, how many are having ITF confluence? Let us quickly verify. In the supply zone confluence, daily supply zone with weekly supply zone confluence, all the 3 stocks are filtered. That means all these daily supply zones are overlapped with weekly supply zone, and weekly trend is down. Let us verify weekly EMA confluence for weekly supply zone. Weekly supply zone with weekly EMA confluence, we got all the 3 stocks. That means these 3 weekly daily supply zones, these 3 daily supply zones are even more high probability trade setup supported stocks. Okay, we let us also check HTF zone confluence for all the three. Removing EMA filter. In the supply zone confluence, we have to set three filters. First filter is already enabled. Second filter, daily with monthly supply zone confluence, weekly with monthly supply zone confluence. With all the three filters, we got only one stock. So this daily supply zone is overlapped with weekly, both together again overlapped with monthly. But monthly trend is sideways, so EMA confluence does not add any extra advantage. So no need to check. So this is about a bearish trade setup for monthly income trade. Next, let us focus on weekly income trade. Bullish trade setup for weekly income trade. Entry time frame 75 minutes, entry zone demand zones, and in bullish or bearish trade setup at 75 minutes I am selecting bullish, and on the 75 minutes demand zone we should set three filters. First filter, 75 minutes demand zone should not be pierced, so in the pierced count at 75 minutes time frame I am setting minimum value 0, maximum value 0. That means 75 minutes demand zone should not be pierced. Zone achievement, violated opposing zone, minimum order enhances score 12. All the three filters are applied to 75 minutes demand zone. Let's filter. We got 5 stocks. Currently these 5 stocks are supporting bullish trade setup for weekly income trade, and entry time frame zones are 75 minutes demand zones. All these demand zones are 75 minutes demand zones. And out of these 5, we can further filter them based on the zone confluence. So first filter in the zone confluence is LTF and ITF demand zone confluence. That is 75 minutes and daily demand zone confluence. So with this filter enabled, we got 4 stocks out of 5. Okay, that means all these 75 minutes demand zones are overlapped with daily demand zone. And the daily trend is up in all the 4 stocks, ITF trend. If daily demand zone is having daily EMA confluence in any of these stocks, then those 75 minutes demand zones are even more high probability setup supported zones. Let us verify. In the EMA confluence at daily time frame, I am setting the filter daily demand zone with daily EMA confluence. We got 1 stock. So this demand zone is even more high probability trade setup. Of course, remaining also because they are supporting high liquidity zones, but this is even more. Okay, next let us look for LTF, ITF, HTF demand zone confluence. Removing this EMA filter. In the demand zone confluence, we should set 3 filters. First filter is already enabled. Second filter, 75 minutes with weekly demand zone confluence. Daily demand zone with weekly demand zone confluence. With all the 3 filters enabled, we got only 1 stock. So in this Nestle India, this 75 minutes demand zone is overlapped with daily demand zone. Both together again overlapped with weekly demand zone, and weekly trend is up. If weekly demand zone is having weekly EMA confluence, it is even more high probability trade setup supported stock. Let us verify. In the EMA confluence, weekly time frame, weekly demand zone having weekly EMA confluence filter is enabled. With this filter, we got the stock. That means this is even more high probability trade setup, weekly income trade supported stock. So this is bullish trade setup for weekly income trade. Next, bearish trade setup for weekly income trade. Entry time frame is 75 minutes. Entry zone is supply zone. In bullish or bearish trade setup at 75 minutes time frame, I am selecting bearish. Now we need to set 3 filters on the 75 minute supply zone. First filter is 75 minute supply zone should not be pierced. So in the pierced count at 75 minutes time frame, I am setting minimum value 0, maximum value 0, zone achievement VOZ, minimum order enhances score 12. With these filters, we got 10 stocks. That means these 10 stocks are currently supporting bearish trade setup for weekly income trade. And these 10 entry time frame zones are 75-minute supply zones. All these supply zones. 75-minute supply zones. And we can look for high probability setup in this 75-minute supply zone based on the zone confluence. Some are already high probability as they are high liquidity zones. Apart from that, based on the zone confluence, first filter in the zone confluence is LTF and ITF supply zone confluence. LTF is 75 minutes, ITF is a daily, and 75 with daily supply zone confluence. Filter is enabled and we got 7 stocks. In these 7 stocks, these 75-minute supply zones are overlapped with daily supply zone, these 75-minute supply zones. And the daily trend is ITF trend, is a downtrend. So let's verify if daily supply zone is having a daily EMA confluence. Anyway, 75-minute supply zone is overlapped with daily. So that's why in the EMA confluence, at daily time frame, we are looking for daily supply zone with daily EMA confluence. Sorry, this is demand zone. Daily supply zone with daily EMA confluence. With this filter, we got only 1 stock. So this is a even more high probability trade setup supported stock. Okay, next let us look for LTF, ITF and HTF supply zone confluence supported stocks. I removed this EMA filter. In the supply zone confluence, we should set 3 filters. First filter is already enabled, 75 with daily. Second filter, 75 with weekly supply zone confluence. Next, third filter, daily supply zone with weekly supply zone confluence. With all the 3 filters enabled, we got 5 stocks. In these 5 stocks, these 75-minute supply zones are overlapped with daily supply zone, and both together again overlapped with weekly supply zone. And the weekly trend is down except the second stock. Remaining all the stocks, it is downtrend. In those 4 stocks, if any of those weekly supply zones are having weekly EMA confluence, they are even more high probability trade setup supported stocks. Let us verify. In the EMA confluence, weekly time frame, I am enabling the filter. Weekly supply zone having weekly EMA confluence. And trend on weekly should not be sideways. It can be downtrend because it is bearish trade setup. Let's verify. We got all the 4 stocks. So these 4 are even more high probability trade setup supported stocks. That's why these 75-minute supply zones are having a high probability success to get the success. Some of these zones may fail, but success rate is high as per the probability theory. So this is about a bearish trade setup for weekly income trade. And the next reports are about a daily income trade. For daily income trade, bullish trade setup, entry time frame 15 minutes, entry zone, demand zone. In bullish or bearish trade setup, at 15 minutes entry time frame, I am selecting bullish. And these 15 minutes demand zone, we should set 3 filters. First filter, 15 minutes demand zone should not be pierced. So in the pierced count parameter at 15 minutes time frame, I am setting minimum value 0, maximum value 0, zone achievement violated opposing zone, minimum odd enhancer score 12. With all the 3 filters, we got 9 stocks. And all these 9 stocks are currently supporting bullish trade setup for daily income trade. And entry time frame zones are 15 minutes demand zones. So all these are all 15 minutes demand zones. Some of these 15 minutes demand zones are already high liquidity zones. Even then, we will further filter this list based on the zone confluence. First filter is LTF and ITF demand zone confluence. That is 15 minutes demand zone with 75 minutes demand zone confluence. I am enabling that filter. With this filter, we got 7 stocks. In all these 7 stocks, these 15 minutes demand zones are overlapped with 75 minutes demand zone. They are overlapped, all these 15 minute zones. And the 75 minutes trend, that is ITF trend, is up in all these stocks. So that's why if any of these 75 minutes demand zones are having daily EMA confluence, then these 15 minute zones could be even more high probability trade setup supported stocks. Let us verify. In the EMA confluence at 75 minutes time frame, I am setting the filter 75 minutes demand zone having daily EMA confluence. With this filter we got two stocks. So these two 15 minutes demand zones are even more high probability setup supported demand zone. This is based on LTF and ITF. Next, let us look for LTF, ITF, HTF zone confluence supported stocks. I am removing EMA filter. In the demand zone confluence, we should set three filters. First filter is already enabled, that is 15 minutes with 75. Second filter is 15 minutes demand zone with daily demand zone confluence. Third filter 75 minutes demand zone with daily demand zone confluence. With all the three filters enabled, we got three stocks. In all the three stocks, these 15 minutes demand zones are overlapped with 75 minutes demand zone. Both together again overlapped with daily demand zone. And the daily trend is up in two stocks. In these two stocks, if any of the daily demand zone having daily EMA confluence, they are even more high probability trade setup supported stocks. Let us verify. In the EMA confluence, daily time frame, daily demand zone having daily EMA confluence filter is enabled. Because the 15 minutes zone together with 75 is part of the daily zone. That's why we are looking for daily demand zone with daily EMA confluence. So we have to eliminate sideways. So trend on the daily should not be sideways. It can be up or down, but it is a bullish trade setup. We have to select, bearish trade setup. You have to select downtrend. Let's filter. Something is wrong. Some mistake I did here, it seems. This is a bullish trade setup, not bearish trade setup. See here, it is a bullish trade setup. I am sorry for the mistake. So this is a uptrend we have to select. So demand zone, daily demand zone we selected with EMA and trend should be uptrend. So we got both the stocks. So both these stocks are currently supporting bullish trade setup for daily income trade. And both these stocks overlapped with HTF, that is a daily time frame. That's why daily trend is up. And all these stocks are having daily zones, are having daily EMA. In the daily zone, our 15-minute zones are there, inside overlapped with 15-minute zone. See here, the concept is we have a daily zone with daily EMA confluence. In that zone, our 15-minute zone is overlapped. So that's why success rate is high. But remember, you should trade according to the principles you learned. I explained in lesson 27. There is a danger. Sometimes below this demand zone, there could be one more demand zone might be there in the same daily. So I explained all those concerns in lesson 27. Without lesson 27, if you are looking into them, it's not a good advice. You have to analyze according to the concepts I explained in lesson 27. Okay, this is about bullish trade setup, daily income trade. Next, bearish trade setup, daily income trade. Entry time frame is 15 minutes. Entry zone is supply zone. In bullish or bearish trade setup at 15 minutes time frame, I am selecting bearish. And the 15 minute supply zone, we should set three filters. First filter, 15 minute supply zone should not be pierced. So in the pierced count at 15 minutes time frame, I am setting minimum value 0, maximum value 0, zone achievement VOZ, minimum odd enhance score 12. With all the three filters, we got 8 stocks. These 8 stocks are currently supporting bearish trade setup for daily income trade. And the entry time frame zones, all these entry time frame zones are 15 minute supply zones. And many of these 15-minute supply zones are high liquidity zones. They have higher success rate as per the probability theory. But even then, we can look for even more higher success rate based on the zone confluence. So first filter is LTF and ITF supply zone confluence. Let us filter based on that. That is 15 minutes and 75 minutes supply zone confluence. So I am enabling that filter. With this filter, we got 7 stocks. In all these 7 stocks, these 15-minute supply zones are overlapped with 75-minute supply zone. And 75 minutes trend is a downtrend in all these stocks because it is a ITF. Bearish trade setup ITF is always downtrend. So that's why if 75 minute supply zone, because 15 minute supply zone is overlapped with 75 minute supply zone, and if 75 minute supply zone is having daily EMA confluence, then those stocks are even more high probability trade setup supported stocks. Let us verify in the EMA confluence at 75 minutes time frame. I am setting the filter 75 minute supply zone having daily EMA confluence. So with this filter, we got 3 stocks. So these three are even, these three 15-minute supply zones are even more high probability trade setup supported zones, and moreover all three are high liquidity zones, but 15 minutes high liquidity zones. Okay, this is based on LTF and ITF and EMA confluence, ITF, EMA confluence. Next we will look for LTF, ITF and HTF zone confluence, and then HTF EMA confluence. So I am removing this ITF EMA filter. In the supply zone confluence, we should set 3 filters. First filter is already enabled, that is 15 minutes with 75 minutes zone confluence. Next filter is 15 minute supply zone with daily supply zone confluence. Third filter is 75 minute supply zone with daily supply zone confluence. With all the 3 filters enabled, we got 6 stocks. That means in all the 6 stocks, these 15 minutes supply zones are overlapped with 75 minutes supply zone. Again, both together are overlapped with daily supply zone. That means 15 minute zone, 75 minute zone together part of the daily zone. And the daily trend is down in 3 stocks. If those 3 stocks are having daily EMA confluence, they are even more high probability trade setup supported stocks, these 15 minute supply zones. Let's verify. In the EMA confluence at a daily time frame, I am setting the filter daily supply zone having daily EMA confluence, and trend on the daily time frame should not be sideways. It should be downtrend because it is bearish trade setup. Let's filter. We got 2 stocks. Out of 3 having downtrend, we got 2 stocks are having, these 2 daily zones are having daily EMA confluence. Inside the daily zone, we have these 15 minute supply zones are overlapped. So that's why these 2 are even more high probability trade setup supported supply zones. So this is about bearish trade setup for daily income trade. Next we will generate hourly income trade reports. For hourly income trade, entry time frame is 5 minutes, entry zone is a demand zone. In bullish or bearish trade setup at 5 minutes time frame, entry time frame, I am selecting bullish. 3 filters we have to set to 5 minutes demand zone. First filter, 5 minutes demand zone should not be pierced. So in the 5 minutes time frame, I am setting minimum value 0, maximum value 0, zone achievement, violated opposing zone, minimum odd and enhancer score 12. With all the 3 filters, we got 17 stocks. First 15 stocks in the list. I am scrolling the list down. So total 17 stocks. They are supporting bullish trade setup for hourly income trade. And all these entry time frame zones are 5 minutes demand zones. Some of these 5 minutes demand zones are high liquidity zones, 5 minutes high liquidity zones. Even then, let us identify even more high probability zones based on this zone confluence. First filter is LTF and ITF demand zone confluence. that is 5 minutes and 15 minutes demand zone Confluence. I am enabling that filter. So with this filter, now the list is come down to 12 stocks. In these 12 stocks, these 5 minutes demand zones are overlapped with 15 minutes demand zones. And 15 minutes trend is up in all these stocks, the ITF trend. If any of these 15 minutes demand zones are having daily EMA Confluence, maybe they could be even more high probability trade setup supported zones. Let's verify. In the EMA Confluence, at 15 minutes time frame, I am setting the filter 15 minutes demand zone having daily EMA Confluence. With this filter, we got one stock. So this 15 minutes demand zone could be much more high probability to get success compared to the other zones. It doesn't mean it will success. It may fail, but compare it to the others. It's a probability game. That's it. Okay, this is LTF and ITF specific. Next, let us look for LTF, ITF and HTF specific supported stocks. I am removing EMA filter. Now let's verify LTF, ITF, HTF specific in the demand zone Confluence. We should set 3 filters. First filter is already enabled. Second filter 5 minutes demand zone with 75 minutes demand zone Confluence. Third filter 15 minutes demand zone with 75 minutes demand zone Confluence. With all the 3 filters enabled, we got 7 stocks. That means in all these 7 stocks, these 5 minutes demand zones are overlapped with 15 minutes demand zone. Again, both together overlapped with 75 minutes demand zones. And 75 minutes trend is up in some of these stocks. If those 3 stocks, if any of them are having a 75 minutes demand zone with daily EMA Confluence, they are even more high probability trade setup supported stocks. Let's verify. In the EMA Confluence, at 75 minutes time frame, I am setting the filter 75 minutes demand zone with daily EMA Confluence. With this filter, we got one stock. But this is a sideways trend, so we can't. So I didn't eliminate with 75 minutes with only uptrend stocks. We don't have any stocks because sideways trend does not give any advantage. So this is bullish trade setup for hourly income trade. Next, bearish trade setup, hourly income trade, entry time frame 5 minutes, entry zone is supply zone. In bullish or bearish trade setup at 5 minutes time frame, I am selecting bearish, and 5 minute supply zone should not be pierced. So in the pierced count at 5 minutes time frame, I am setting minimum value 0, maximum value 0. Zone achievement VOZ, minimum odd enhancer score 12. All 3 filters are applied to 5 minute supply zone. Now let's filter the stocks. We got 5 stocks. These 5 stocks are supporting bearish trade setup for hourly income trade. Out of these 5, how many are having ITF Confluence? Let us verify. The supply zones. That means 5 minute supply zone with 15 minute supply zone Confluence. So in the supply zone Confluence, I am enabling the filter 5 minute supply zone with 15 minute supply zone Confluence. Out of 5, we got 3 stocks. That means these 5 minute supply zones are overlapped with 15 minute supply zone. Okay, among these 3, the 15 minute supply zone is having any EMA Confluence. Let's verify daily EMA. In the EMA Confluence at 15 minutes time frame, 15 minute supply zone having daily EMA Confluence. No stocks are there, fine. Removing EMA filter. Now let us look for LTF, ITF, HTF supply zone Confluence. 3 filters we have to set. First filter is already enabled, 5 minutes with 15 minutes. Second filter, 5 minute supply zone with 75 minute supply zone Confluence. Third filter, 15 minute supply zone with 75 minute supply zone Confluence. With all the 3 filters, we got 2 stocks. That means these 2 5 minute supply zones are overlapped with 15-minute supply zone. Both together again overlapped with 75-minute supply zone. And 75 minutes trend is sideways. So then there is no need to verify for 75 minutes EMA Confluence because it won't give any advantage. So this is about bearish trade setup for hourly income trade. And in the final report, let us generate stop buffers based on daily ATR. First 17 in this list are indices, remaining all are equity stocks. So I am scrolling the list down, whichever the stock you want to refer, there you pause the video, after that you can proceed. Okay, I am scrolling the list down. So this is the end of the report. Hope these reports might be helpful to you for your further study and analysis. Let us all meet again in our next video. Thank you.